Schmoes?
Yeah.
How many of you wandered in looking for parking validation? You do not validate parking. For those that do not know, Schmoes Know Movies is a movie review team that started in 2007 in Christian Harloff's basement, or extra room. He's never been that sure. It was two stand-up comics looking for something to do other than a real job, so they started reviewing movies on YouTube. It grew. They are now over 115,000 subscribers and growing. In 2011, they started a podcast, a humble podcast, because that's what you do in society. Everyone podcasts. They started talking about movies. It was Mark and Christian and an engineer named Cheese. We miss Cheese. History of Cheese. From there it grew. We moved to the Toad Hop Network studios in the John Lovitz Comedy Theater, and they started adding a cast of characters. They moved across down to the New Hollywood location. I, myself, Ken Abzog, now known as the Pit Boss, joined as the so-called producer of the show. But really, I'm just organizing Christian and Mark's thoughts every week. From there, we started to grow with interns, associate producers, a guy named Finstock, sexual tension that he brings. We added people that I'm going to introduce, and the cast of characters have grown. And what we do every week, live, 6 p.m. PST on schmoesknow.com, is the Schmoes Know Movie Show, where we talk about everything related to movies, pop culture, get a little crazy, maybe a little celeb impression dating game, maybe some trivia, maybe a trial because the trivia goes bad. We do a lot of fun things. And that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to talk about things related to what's going on with Marvel, DC, Star Wars. Then we're going to take some Q&A time if you have questions for us. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our cast of characters. This first individual, he was handpicked from a field of two to earn the right to get important people beer. Our intern, Corporal Upham Cody Hall. Next up, he won a contest. He was a movie reviewer himself. He won a contest to join the team, and after a year of taking abuse, he is now an associate producer after his term as an intern. Associate producer just means he takes more abuse loudly. It is Cobster Christian Rubicabla. He was the first intern of the show, survived the dark days of Shoesy Pads. His rival intern, he is now the man behind the board, our engineer. He's also Guillermo del Toro and Dolph Lundgren's biggest fans, Josh the Engineer, J.T.E. He is Becky McFackerson of the Schmoes Know crew. He is our movie trivia champion, our webmaster, the editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com, and my good friend, Mark Yodi Riley. He is affectionately known as the Wild Man for his dance moves, his ruggish good looks, and his scoundrel behavior. Please welcome Josh Macuga. This next individual is on a work release program from the federal, state, and state penitentiary. He is known only as Finstock. So that pregnant pause is a good thing on your call. Good call on your day. She brings class, she brings dignity from a country and a far, far away land. She joined our team this year. Mark, take a seat. She joined our team this year. You see her all over AMC Movie Talk, a lot of Access Hollywood, and co-hosts the great show Profiles with Scott Mans. Please welcome the lovely Alicia. Hello. See, look, our intern's even working here. She's the co-host of DC All Access, one of my favorite people in this town. You see her all around the comic book nerd girl world. She is very talented, lovely. Our co-host, Tiffany Smith. Sorry, Alicia, I didn't mean to see you next to Finn, so I got my mistake. This next man looks very relaxed today in his Ace Ventura fall outfit. He is one of the best stand-up comics in Los Angeles. Get his album, Get to the Castle. The co-founder of Schmoes Know, Mark Ellis. And rounding out the only panel that has more panelists than audience members today. The co-founder, the head cheese, the big honcho, my good friend, the man who started it all with Mark Ellis, Christian Harloff.
Ken, I just want to say I thought it was really nice that you let a fan sit at the end of the table.
That is our intent.
Oh.
He did win that contest. To run and get us ice every week here. It's good. So this is the Schmoes Movie Crew. We do our thing every week, every Thursday. We talk about movie news. We talk about what's going on in the movie world. So we're going to do that now with, let me turn it on.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming to our panel this morning. You give yourselves a hand. This is, I was concerned because it was the day after Halloween and it was 10 in the morning. Then I thought, you know what, for like a Comic-Con kind of event, that's the perfect time because you just keep your costume on from last night.
That's what happened to Bonnie. That's what she said. She's still passed out. No, actually, thank you very much, guys, for showing up. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Finstock and Alicia, how you guys doing? Romantic?
Hi, good.
Oh, good. How good? Sorry, man. I'm going to take away.
No, you guys are doing great. Finstock, you get one word.
Nice.
I'm just glad I'm not sitting next to Finstock.
You kind of are.
No, I'm not.
You always kind of are.
Close enough.
Alicia's the buffer.
Kids, Ken's going to be the dad today.
I've already been to dad. I got everyone here. All right, let's talk about Marvel.
Let's do it.
Marvel took over the world this week with the awesome announcement of 9 films in 6 years. It's their phase 3. First of all, let's start. What do you think about this, Christian, how they did it and how we don't want to say they fight DC, but they definitely won whatever battle that was.
Look, I don't think it's a matter of winning or losing because it's everybody here obviously is pretty much a comic book movie fan, right? And so we all win in regards to how many movies we're getting in the comic book genre. And it's not just DC and Marvel Studios, if you Marvel in general with X-Men and Fantastic Four. So we're getting so many. And I know that Ken, you feel that it's a little saturated, but I think that it's more of a genre and it set it up. What Marvel Studios did this week, which was so smart, was just the presentation. It was like, it was a Hall H palette. It was like when you go to an event like this and Marvel announces something, that's what you want to go down. Like the way that they did it with the music, the excitement, inviting fans, not just press, and they just knocked it out of the park.
Let's talk about that oversaturation. Between DC, Marvel, Sony, Fox, or whatever movies you want to make, we have probably 30 superhero films at least in the next 6 years. Some of you, like Mark Riley, I'll start with you, say it's a new genre that we're going to get used to. It's here forever. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's here to stay.
I think it's here to stay.
I think it's here to stay. I think these movies could be almost compared to like James Bond. I think, sooner or later Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be able to do Iron Man anymore. And I think you can plug a very good actor in there and just keep going. And I think as long as the audience keeps showing up, which Marvel is doing so brilliantly, then they're going to keep making these movies. There's so many runs of comic books and stories that we could be having these movies for my kids when they're 13, 14 years old.
Josh Macuga, is that a good thing? You can't dance now, you have to answer.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of this whole situation. I'm getting a little tired of the situation that each one just seems like another movie, and all we're waiting for is a better effect. I want a better movie.
That's not true though. Matter of fact, did you not see The Winter Soldier?
I didn't like The Winter Soldier.
Well, get out.
All it was. Hold on, let me just say this. Go ahead and boo me. I've been booed before. I'm single, obviously. I've been booed before. I think that Winter Soldier, the opening 20 minutes, oh, this was incredible. And then it was just like dudes fighting on a soaring plane. It wasn't.
You must have fallen asleep.
Can I ask Josh a question? If they filmed Captain America: The Winter Soldier in Pittsburgh, would you feel differently about it?
100%. No, I mean, listen, I don't hate any of them. I enjoy everything for what it's worth. It's bubblegum, it's popcorn. I just want that like feeling of the first Batman with Michael Keaton. I want that like gritty punch you in the face, no CGI, superhero that you and I can go and wake up and we have bruises on ourselves. That's what I want. I want to feel like I got sick in a movie.
Tiffany?
But I think these movies are kind of making films like Birdman possible. I think if we didn't have this kind of oversaturation of the comic book movie, we would have never gotten Michael Keaton doing Birdman.
Alicia, do you have fears that all the superhero movies are going to take away from your beloved independent movies?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind these movies. I liked Captain America: Winter Soldier because classic films are my jam. And it was very much inspired by 3 Days of the Condor, which is an excellent 70s political thriller that you should all see. So I like when they're good at story and they're good at casting, but it's not so much the indies, it's just the in-between movies. So these days they have what they call the tent poles and the tadpoles, which is the huge movies and then the tiny little films, but not much in between. And they're all the movies we grew up loving, like Pretty Woman. I mean, that would probably not get made today. No.
Stop appealing to Ken's heart.
It's a well-known fact that I saw Pretty Woman 5 times in one day. That's
Exactly.
Still hasn't seen Dramas.
All those dramas and all those fun movies that we used to grow up watching, they're getting less and less. Now it's the comic book movies or the indies.
Christian, Mark, you got a counter to that? Because I know you do.
I think Alicia makes a great point when I don't think that the comic book film market is oversaturated. I think that you could even have another company, like if they wanted to start making image comic movies again, if you wanted to have a Spawn film and a Deathblow movie, you could do that and people would go see it. The problem is that the middle class of films is getting washed away because you have so many different comic book films that are coming out. And it's not that they're going to stop making other kinds of movies, it's that normal people who are civilians who have to save up money to go see a film, they have to save their money up to see event movies like a Star Wars or a Marvel film or a DC. So it's harder to save up money to go see everything like you used to be able to do. And to Josh's point, I think that I agree with Josh a little bit where it's hard to up the stakes. You have to keep upping the stakes until you get to Avengers Infinity War. And then after Infinity War, it's like, where do you go? I guess we'll have Iron Man rescue a cat out of the tree. And you gotta go right back down.
One of the things I will say though is that I think that a lot of these big movies, these big comic movies, or even big genre movies in general, help the little movies get made in regards to when the filmmakers or whoever is involved more budget, even if they can make more money off of their last payday, they can add that into making films as well. But what I just think that the genre absolutely, I think it helps more than it hurts. I really do. I think that we're in an age now, with especially with Marvel, the way that they add stories.
An age of Ultron.
That's right. But I know, I think that it adds story from what they've been doing. The way Marvel sets out, it's not just explosions. It's not.
These are really good movies. Yeah, it's not just dudes running around in tights. It's actually like really good stories.
And what I'll say about DC is that we don't know yet. I mean, a round of applause. I know it's been split. Who really enjoyed Man of Steel?
Yeah!
Who didn't like it? You're not applauding. But that movie, but I did enjoy it. Other people on here maybe not as much, but I enjoyed the film. I thought that it's a good setup to start the DC universe. And now with Batman v Superman, everyone's going to see it in this room. We know that. It's a matter of will Suicide Squad?
I think that's Finstock's ex-girlfriend.
No, it's the power of JTE on the panel. I think that one and Wonder Woman, if those movies succeed, then DC's going to have a good run. If they don't, they're going to be in trouble.
Mark Ellis mentioned the normal people that have to spend money, so I'm going to go to those people who have to use their allowance down at the end of the table to see movies. Coster, Cody, JT, what do you think about the superhero genre, where it's at right now?
Yeah, I can totally see it, like on Macuga's side, that these movies can be oversaturated a little bit, but what I love about it the most is like it's the first time where we get a bunch of these movies kind of just for the next few years. I mean, the next few summers are going to be really, really exciting, and it's pun intended, but it's like a golden age of comic book movies. And for young kids like me and him that don't get the privilege of seeing movies super early, it's really.
Except for yourself before any of us.
I'm better than you. Other than that, yeah, I think it's really exciting.
JTE, but you should do your dude in Keanu Reeves voice.
No!
I'm an FBI agent.
I'm going to pistol you.
Shut up!
Yeah, I don't mind the oversaturation as long as the movies continue to be good. Like, you'd think Marvel's been doing this for so long, you figure like fatigued second by now, but Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of the best movies of the year. Same thing with Captain America. As long as they keep doing good, I don't really care.
Let's actually dig into what Marvel. No, JT's good. That was it. In Keanu Reeves' voice, you had you all enjoy it. No. JT, what do you think?
I just want to say, growing up, me and my friends, like at lunch in school, all we would talk about is we want to see these DC movies and Marvel films. And now that I'm finally at that place where they're coming out,
What a cool place in high school.
What's that? Anyways, but yeah, I'm just so excited for those movies. It's what I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. So I just say bring them on. I'm excited for DC just as much as Marvel.
To be fair, you see every movie released in the theater every weekend. Let's dig into what Marvel, some of the stuff that Marvel announced. Some of these titles, they took some Phase 3, they're going to get into some different properties that maybe not known as much. So let's actually start with Doctor Strange. We have a show on our Schmoes network called Marvel News for Marvel Fans, airs every Tuesday, and they dig a lot into Doctor Strange. Mark Riley, editor-in-chief of our website, when do you expect an official announcement? What do you know? Is Cumberbatch Strange?
I think Cumberbatch is locked in. I mean, he's been rumored for so long. My co-host on Meet the Movie Press, he broke Joaquin Phoenix being in negotiations, and that fell apart. And you know, soon after that announcement, and when you know Joaquin was wavering a bit, you know, then there was more mentions of Benedict, and now everybody's picked up on that he's in. I've heard final negotiations, I've heard in talks, but I think it's a done deal. And now that they've announced the date, I think they're going to do everything they can to lock him in and get, because they got to start filming. So I think we're going to hear about it next week, 2 weeks.
Tiffany Cumberbatch, he's been Schmoes, as Macuga would say. Do you want him as Doctor Strange? You're a comic book girl.
I think that Cumberbatch, I think I'm one of the rare girls who's not like, oh my god, Benedict Cumberbatch is so hot. Like, I just don't really get it.
How does that go?
He looks like real life Voldemort to me. I don't know. He does.
How dare you talk about Cumberbatch like that?
That's what I think of. I don't know. He definitely has charisma. But I think he can pull off that role where it's like this character who has a dark side, who's arrogant. I mean, he plays it in Sherlock so well, where it's this guy who is super intelligent, smarter than everybody else, but is willing to get his hands dirty, and that's what Doctor Strange is like. So
it's just one of these guys, though. Because I'm kind of the same way when you're watching it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's been rumored for everything.
He's a great actor.
And amazing. But the thing is, the second you see the guy on screen, you're gonna go, yeah, anything that I was worried about, I don't carry him on.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys, and you know he can play arrogant. You know that he's gonna be able to tune in. He actually is one of those actors that can do the smaller films and crush it on the big blockbuster films too. And that's what we like to see, is an actor that's so well versed that they can do both and not lose any talent around the line because they don't know how to do the big movies. They only know how to do the small movies. That's some of these, like I think maybe that's perhaps why Jared Leto didn't do it. Maybe because he's not used to doing those big, huge movies. He hasn't acted in so long. I would have liked to see him in it. But I think Cumberbatch is going to be awesome.
I think the other thing, though, with Cumberbatch being the quote-unquote safe choice, is that if you're going to have this guy not only in Doctor Strange, but he's going to be tied into other films in the Marvel Universe, it's harder to take a gamble on a nutcase like Joaquin Phoenix, where he might just go off and grow a beard and not talk to anybody and live in the lake trying to actually do sorcery. Yeah, I mean, he might just think he lives with Mel Gibson in Philadelphia from Signs. Like, you don't know what's going to happen to that dude. Cumberbatch is more of a commodity where you know this guy's going to stay dedicated to his craft, or somebody like Jared Leto, who's great, but you just don't trust these guys as much. So if you're going to ink him to a long-term deal, you got to know he's going to be around.
I do think it's kind of weird, though, that we got the Chadwick Boseman announcement, which is a film that's coming out so much later, and we haven't gotten Doctor Strange.
I think they're negotiating.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And they're pushing Benedict for the Oscar for the Imitation Game, so I think they're focused on that.
They should have put Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland.
Some of the, let's talk about Black Panther. That's a known property to a certain genre of fans, but to a bigger audience, is it a risk? What is Black Panther? Tiffany, explain it to us.
So basically, I think the closest character that we've seen to him would be like a Thor character, where he's very regal, he is a prince or king. We're not sure where we're going to get him in this film when he comes into it, but I think we're going to see him first in Avengers, and then we'll get him in his standalone film. I think Chadwick Boseman is kind of the perfect casting for it because he is so intelligent, and this character is from what?
No. Ken forgot. Ken still thought JT was an intern.
And this character comes from a place that is incredibly wealthy, and he is very well versed. And so I think that seeing him in 42, he is the perfect casting for this. And people don't really have a huge association with who this guy is, so I think he'll be perfect.
When I said Black Panther, the kids in the back of the station wagon got excited. So, Coster, what do you think?
I don't know too much about Black Panther other than the, what? What are you laughing at me for? The Avengers, there's a cartoon show.
Old married couple over here.
Yeah, I'm going to spend it later.
There are people watching.
I know. Yeah, I don't know too much about him, but I'm really excited. I love Chadwick Boseman. I thought he was great as Jackie Robinson, and I heard he's great in Get On Up. But I think that's what excites me the most is that I don't know anything about him, and I don't want to. The same thing goes with Captain Marvel as well. We've already seen Iron Man and all the other superheroes, so it's nice to see something fresh and new.
Also remember that everyone knows Guardians is not, to the exception of some hardcore fans, it's not a known property. Iron Man itself, the first one.
Yeah.
Some people knew about Iron Man, not a lot of people.
A lot of people knew about Iron Man.
Not the same way. Not the same way with Batman and Superman. Again, a lot of people did not know about Iron Man, and they just, and that goes.
They were calling him a B movie character. Like the headlines before that came out was like Spider-Man was everywhere.
Right.
And killing it at the box office, and they announced Iron Man, and they're like, B movie.
And look, Iron Man is the one now that started this genre that we're in.
Yep.
I just saw Nick Fury come in.
Yeah.
All right, wait a second. Before you let me, I want to see it by raise of hands. Does anybody think that I will win the bet that Ant-Man will not do more than 40 million domestically its opening weekend?
Round of applause, I think John will win the bet. If they're going for 4 million, that just goes back to the point.
You will rue the day.
He's wearing a tutu under this table right now.
Unknown properties, and they know how to, and that goes back to the Macuga argument that I disagree with, is that they know how to put together good stories, not just blowing stuff up, because Guardians also was fun, it had a good vibe to it, it had good characters, and that's why people went back to see it, and that's why it's the most profitable movie of the year.
That was the 70s space opera as well.
Yeah, it was.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy was a bigger risk than Black Panther simply because Guardians didn't get a soft intro in another movie. You know, you didn't get to see, oh, there's a hint of Guardians, and then we're going to give them their own movie if people like them in this. With Black Panther, he's going to have the softer landing where he gets to be in Civil War. So you're going to get to know this guy without putting him out there on the marquee all by himself.
Guardians,
we had to meet a whole team at Guardians.
and then they're talking raccoon in Guardians. That's a win.
And it could have been like Empire Strikes Back. If Yoda would have been a disaster, that movie doesn't work. And the same thing with Rocket. If Rocket was goofy and it didn't work, that would have been silly, but it worked.
Hey Ken, can you make a note that it took Christian 15 minutes to make a Star Wars reference? That's pretty good.
I had the under. Mark, you were kind of famously against this, quote, talking raccoon character. Are you around on our beloved Rocket?
Oh man, Rocket was my favorite part of Guardians of the Galaxy, besides the awesome mixtape. I mean, like I love when I'm proven wrong, which isn't that often. I love when I see a movie and I'm shocked. I'm like, I really thought a talking raccoon in a live-action film was going to look stupid. I didn't think it would work at all. I never heard of Guardians of the Galaxy. This is a true story. The first time I heard that there was going to be a talking raccoon that shot rockets in a movie, I made fun of it on our podcast. I drive home to my place and I get out of my car. Inside the dumpster, there's 3 raccoons, which gives you an idea of where I'm living right now.
Watch your mouth, fellas. Watch your mouth.
Let's talk about Captain Marvel. This week on the show, we got into some of the female standalone superheroation. DC, they announced Wonder Woman first as a standalone.
And Cyborg.
And Cyborg, making that decision. But we're going to talk about Captain Marvel. Speculation on who we think could play it.
Bonnie Somerville.
The trade hits.
That's why
she won't get a head
she
for it.
couldn't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if for you guys are fans of the show, then you know we've all been pitching Katie Sackhoff. She has the look. She's played a version of the character in Battlestar. But and I said on the show, if you listen to the show this past Thursday, my concern is that by the time it rolls around, she's going to be a little older, and it's just a matter of it's just going to be a matter of how Marvel wants to cast, because it's the same reason you were talking before with Joaquin locking himself into a contract. Marvel's going to lock in an actress for a contract because we don't know where Captain Marvel's going to go past Phase 4, Phase 5. They might lock her in 10 movies, 10 years. So you know you're looking at an actress that might be close to 50 by the time the run's over. So you have to do, if you cast in 24, 25, it might be the choice. I hope it's Katie. I really do.
Alicia, fire back.
Well, they don't worry about that with the guys, do they?
I know, but that's just the age we live in, unfortunately. I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with it. It's just the way it is.
I hope it's not about that.
But it's also, if you just look at the comics, you get Old Man Logan, you get Old Man Batman. They don't have, like, old lady Black Widow.
Right.
I don't think I've read a comic where it's like you're following up on an older female heroine, which, again,
I wish
is
they
not
would.
necessarily okay. There should be.
They should hire Judi Dench for that role.
I mean, they did it
the difference in red is that you're having older characters dealing with older
But
characters.
Katie is not that old.
I know that. I'm not saying that.
I think we can all agree that cougars are hot. I think the bigger question here is because it's Captain Marvel and it's not as known of a property, my question is, does it have to be somebody that we've heard of, or can you cast an unknown? Because Wonder Woman, everybody knows who that is. So you can cast someone like Gal Gadot, who's not, everybody's mom doesn't know who that is.
Well, I
You
think
need to cast
that
somebody who's
people will
famous.
go to see Marvel films regardless of
Yeah,
who
yeah.
they cast because they have become a genre. But a lot of people are saying Emily Blunt as well, which would be awesome.
But she's same age.
Yeah, I mean,
She's like the same
age.
age problem.
Yeah.
Don't we trust Marvel enough, though, like Alicia said, they're going to see who they put. So if they cast someone, quote, a little older at like 32, come on, ridiculous, I feel aged. We all trust Marvel, what they're doing. Which brings me to my next point, because I do want to move on to DC here and some other topics. Inhumans. Inhumans. That's Riley?
Huh?
The Inhumans.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Inhumans.
Is this Marvel's answer to X-Men?
I absolutely think it's the answer to the mutants, and because Fox has the rights, you can't even say mutants in the Marvel universe, which sucks. But I think Inhumans, they'll probably spin it in the way, just using the source material, they're going to jump off of that, and they're going to be these special people born with powers, just like mutants, but through a different way, which is what the aliens doing experiments on humans, right? We're planting these things here. I mean, I'm not too familiar with Inhumans, but my going theory is that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are Inhumans. I'm hoping that turns out to be true. That'd be cool.
I mean, I think when you look at it, you're right, that because Marvel in the film universe can't say mutants, this is the perfect way for them kind of to lead into it. And we saw, the arguments between Quicksilver being in X-Men films and then being in the Marvel films as well. So I think that, they're going to introduce them and they're going to be like, these are Inhuman, like, they have the supernatural powers. It's also going to help with Doctor Strange when he comes in. So I think it's the perfect lead-in to kind of getting away with having mutants.
Yeah, that was my understanding. I'm from the South, so I know a little bit of something about aliens experimenting on humans. And I think what Inhumans is going to be is I think that is what Marvel's hoping to be the next leap once these Avengers go away. Which, sorry kids, they're eventually going to get old, like Christian roots for everybody to age. And more new. Yeah, because once you throw everything past the age of Ultron, my big question with Inhumans, Ken, is how much is that going to tie in with the universe that we already know exists? Is it going to be a completely different world? So that, because you can't keep crossing over and crossing over and crossing over. Eventually it's just going to get too big. So I think Inhumans is the most intriguing part of this entire Marvel slate announcement.
I just want to say that my visa to work here in America says I'm an alien with extraordinary abilities. I am Inhuman.
Cast Red Fury.
Red Fury.
As we wrap up the Marvel quick, predictions. Will Spider-Man ever get to be in a Marvel Studios movie?
No.
No?
Ever?
I don't think Sony,
Ever?
someday. I hope so, but Sony is holding on to it with a death grip. And they are trying to do everything in their power to keep it in the contract.
They can't make movies like the last one, they're not going to have it.
No, but they're making a female Spider-Man movie that was just released that where they're going to team up all the characters. They're doing Sinister Six, which they're calling a soft reboot. Is this, can I curse? I'm upset about that. And so, upset about
How dare you, Riley?
I'm not going to Riley rant. But I just don't think they're going to go. I absolutely think they will reboot it again before letting Marvel.
But the fans are going to lose
They
it.
have to do to keep the rights.
If the fans stop going, but unfortunately, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was terrible.
It was a mess.
And
Guys, I think
but
fans
it
are looking
showed
for
up.
a yes or no yes about Spider-Man. I think you're going to see it eventually. I think we might all be as old as Dame Judi Dench when it happens. But I think eventually, I don't think with this current slate you're going to see Spider-Man, but I think eventually you will see it.
All right. That's what we do on the show. Let's go to DC. Their slate was announced before, quietly in a conference room to like 4 people with no fanfare. I think some stockholders went, yeah, Superman. Okay, good. Is their slate ready to compete?
This panel is more well attended than DC slate announcement. That's because of you guys.
Tiffany Smith, Miss DC All Access. Represent.
So the announcement was awesome. The reason it happened the way it did was because Warner Brothers had a lot of layoffs and they wanted to distract from that. So they were like, let's make this announcement here. I think that DC doesn't quite, they're still much more corporate than I think Marvel is at this point. And so it's like, they'll make the announcements there and it leaked out and it was all over. It was all everybody was talking about. And I said this on the podcast, but I do really think that Feige saw that announcement happen. The Avengers trailer leaked, and so he's like, okay, we're ready, we'll just make the announcement now. I think he would have waited a little bit longer and then had Benedict locked in and made that announcement later on. So I think that with the announcement from DC, I mean, I'm super excited for Wonder Woman. I can't wait for Suicide Squad. I think that that film could be kind of the answer to Guardians, where it's like this ragtag bunch of people, and I mean, Harley Quinn, everyone wants to see Harley Quinn on the big screen, so.
It's just so unfair to judge them right now. Because it's like if you started judging off of Iron Man 1. You can't judge off. I mean, you can't. There's too young into this slate. It's not fair to judge them. It really isn't. We haven't seen these movies, and that's why I just said.
And The Rock. That's all I have to say.
Well, why did they announce it so early? I mean, eventually, it's like they held out for this big announcement, The Rock, and this movie's coming out in about 70 years.
But I think that goes back to what Tiffany was saying, is that I think that DC holds their cards close to their chest until they need to play something to remind you that DC's still relevant. Having said that, I got really excited when I saw the DC slate. I'm a huge Batman fan. I love every incarnation of Batman, unless he's a kid crying to the guy from the OC on Monday nights on Fox.
He's so good.
He's great. I think that the Justice League movies really got me excited, as well as Suicide Squad, because I have no idea what that is. And after seeing Guardians, now I have more faith, not just in Marvel movies that I haven't heard of before, but any sort of comic book property. I think people know how to do it on the big screen. And just because Man of Steel wasn't the resounding success that I wanted it to be, I still think it was a good of enough step forward to launch this universe. Plus, they knocked the Aquaman casting out of the park. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, there's like one dude on Earth that you could cast as Aquaman, make me not laugh at that guy anymore, and it was Jason Momoa.
Mark, I believe Suicide Squad is me and you at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Fitz, is the world ready for a Wonder Woman movie?
Oh God.
Love that you asked.
Look, I like Gal Gadot. I call it Gal Gadot, because she's basically got it. And now usually, I don't watch movies without full frontal female nudity. But I'm gonna give you a shot. I love the Linda Carter in the regular one.
She's not cast in this one, though.
She should be. Are you kidding? She was great.
JT, are you excited about the DC slate?
Yeah, I'm really excited actually. First of all, there's an awesome Quill Man back here. Can we get him in the Justice League? Because that's awesome.
Quill Man!
I was done last year. I love that. I'm really excited. You know what I like about DC, what they're doing? They're going for the really dark, serious tone. Some people complain that Man of Steel didn't have enough jokes, and what Marvel does a really good job is getting that fun in there. Like Thor 2, even though it's kind of dark, it was really fun and had a lot of jokes. And DC's totally going for that serious vibe, and I think that's really smart because it's kind of separating from Marvel. And you just kind of have a different tone, so yeah, I'm totally excited.
Following Man of Steel, we got Batman vs. Superman, Road to Dawn of Justice, Courtroom Case movie, whatever it's called now. The title's so long. Do we have faith in that movie to launch this slate after Man of Steel? Cobster starts up.
Man, I hope so. I don't have too much faith in Zack Snyder. Just because he made so much. I'm sorry. I like this.
Someone escort him out of the entire convention.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm very optimistic.
I'm the same way, and the thing that I like about this universe is that we really don't know a whole lot, whereas Marvel kind of set up the whole slate with Iron Man and all these other movies. Batman v Superman is going to jumpstart that, so it's kind of cool that we're going to be subtly introduced to some of these characters in this movie, and then following that we're going to see their solo movie. So they're doing it a different way, and I like that they're doing it different. So.
I think the acquisition of Ben Affleck was crucial to this project because Warner Brothers and Ben Affleck are very tight, and with Argo and everything he's done with Town, all of his movies, he's just changed as a performer and everything too. He's like, I'll be honest. Yeah, everything. When he was initially cast as Batman, I was like, I don't understand that, because I started going into the past, thinking of Daredevil and all that stuff, but he's changed as everything what he's doing creatively. And I also think that he's going to help the process of Batman v Superman as a filmmaker with Zack Snyder. And eventually you're going to see Affleck direct a standalone Batman film, and that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, he brought in his writer from Argo,
yeah.
Terrio, and now he's writing he's polishing Batman v Superman, which finally gave me, I agree with Upham. I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan, but bringing in Affleck, bringing in these writers, it starts with the script. So Terrio writing, polishing Batman v Superman and Justice League, I have a lot of hope now.
That's something Argo did really well, was balance a story with multiple characters, and that's the thing I worry about with Batman v Superman. They've got so much to introduce. It's just how are they going to do it?
But it's also that, you know, I think, one, it's putting a good team together. Everybody at DC is doing an awesome job of introducing these characters, whether it's in TV or film. I mean, Jeff Johns, just seeing what he's done, and even looking at Aquaman, where it's like the rewrite that he did, the redevelopment of that character, and then getting all of that team together, I think, for Batman v Superman, I'm excited about it. And we don't know how much of them we're going to see in Batman v Superman. It could literally be like, Gal walks in the background, and like, you see her for a second, you're like, ah, that was her, that's all we need, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna 100% contradict myself right now, but am I the only one on this panel that liked Daredevil? I like that.
And that's why we did it.
All right, let's move to the part of the panel where Alicia falls asleep. Star Wars. Star Wars Episode 7, of course, is set to change the world in the 1770s.
I'm excited about the directors involved.
What's that?
I'm excited about the directors involved with the new Star Wars.
George Lucas, right? He's still doing it? Faster, more intense. When did we get this trailer, Christian? We getting a teaser?
I'll just predict Into the Woods, right before Into the Woods Christmas, you're going to get a teaser. The rumors of John Williams coming back to score over the next coming back to the project, but coming back the next 2 weeks to start scoring something. Apparently, JJ gave him a trailer to do. I think we're getting, it makes sense. We're going to be a year away at that point. So give us a teaser. And I've said that the teaser that I want to see. Just show me the two sons with the music, the hooded figure, and it's Luke with that gnarly beard.
I really hate when you write the trailer ahead of the trailer, because that's the same thing that I want to see. Like when you said that, I was like, damn it, that's what I was going to say. All I want is, I want to hear that soft Star Wars music, I want to see the two sons, I want to see a bearded Mark Hamill in a hood. Maybe you hear a lightsaber ignite, maybe you don't. You're going to hear a lightsaber ignite in the theater where I am, I'll tell you that.
I get that. That's funny.
But if I can be honest with you guys, I think everybody in the room knows what a big Star Wars fan I am, and I'm trying to not even think about my excitement for Episode 7, the film yet. I know that we report a lot of cool stuff on our website. On Schmoes.com you can read a lot of neat stuff about Star Wars Episode 7, and I don't like reading all of it because I just want to think about the trailer. I just want to be in the theater. I don't want to watch this thing on YouTube. And I don't want to get a call from Christian that's going to say, hey, it's on YouTube, we got to review it. And I want to be like, can we wait?
And so I got to do this every single time. You're going to look and you're going to go, no, I'm not going to.
It's Star Wars, I can't not see it, but I might get emotional watching that. And I'm dead serious. I might start bawling like a baby when I see that
Quick
trailer.
little story about our friend Mark Ellis. The night after the Star Wars draft, we were drinking beers at an Irish pub, and about 9 years in, Mark Ellis just said to me, I just can't wait until I see the words. And, far away, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, what a song.
I can put this to you guys out there. By round of applause, how many of you are worried about Star Wars F7 malaise because we're still waiting and we're getting spoilers, news, and rumors? How many out there are just kind of want to lay back? Let's fix it back. We're on the website, schmoes.com, Mark, you've discovered that at some point there was a little bit of too much Star Wars news.
Yeah, I kind of told my writers and kind of dropped just hey, let's not post this, because there was particularly one spoiler that came out of making Star Wars that I thought was absolutely just the worst thing that they could have posted. I think if it's true, it will ruin the movie, and I hope nobody read it. I read it, and I hated myself for it. And but yeah, no, we actually do not post a lot of Star Wars speculation. We post pictures that are absolutely sanctioned.
To wrap up this real quickly with the kids who were born in 2002, are you excited for your first Star Wars in the theater, boys?
92, you're wrong, but I absolutely am excited for it, and I really do hope we see a trailer. I'm not going to go see Into the Woods unless I hear there's a trailer before it, but
it is our generation's Meet Joe Black.
Yes. But yeah, I'm optimistic about it. Don't look at spoilers or rumors.
I'm so excited, I can't wait to see Captain Kirk and Spot. Wait, that's not right. Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan. Look forward to it. the day JJ was announced, I lost my mind, so we get it.
All right, with our time left, we're going to jump into questions. So we have next to Nick Fury, there's a microphone. So if you have questions for the Schmoes No Crew related to our podcast or to movies, jump up and let's ask. Let's do it.
I want to say no more questions about that night Josh Macuga and I were at the Irish pub.
You will not have to talk to Finstock directly, so don't worry about it.
No.
Alright, this one's for Wild Man. I watched your Guilty Your Pleasure on Streets of Fire. I thought you were going to do a Halloween episode, like an Army of Darkness. Is that possible?
If you want an Army of Darkness, do you want a Halloween? Is that, we're not, Steve and I aren't really into the horror genre per se, but maybe in the future, maybe we'll do what might be like a flip the switch and do a horror around Christmas time.
Is Army of Darkness a Guilty Movie Pleasure though? It's awesome.
I think that would count as a Guilty Movie Pleasure.
Evil Dead 3.
Evil, okay. Do you want to see an Army? Listen, you came up with the panel. You want to see Army of Darkness? We'll do Army of Darkness.
Nice. Josh, of course, hosts Guilty Movie Pleasure with Steve Schmoes on the Schmoes No Network.
Hang on, I'm tiny.
Okay, so's Copster, it's okay, he gets over it.
Okay, 2 questions really quick. One, why do you let Finstock, like, out of the cage? Like, is it safe for us to be in this room?
No. Get out. I cured a bull.
Okay, and then really quick, I want to touch on the Spider-Man thing because I thought maybe Spider-Man 2 was atrocious. Yeah. And I got some friends here with me. They're probably stabbing me in the back when I leave right now. But I do hope that we see Spider-Man in the Marvel universe because movies have been bad lately since Spider-Man 3, I think. But what do you guys think about the female Spider-Man movie, like the female teen movie?
That's all. I was just excited because I was glad Sony had the balls to announce a female superhero movie first. Some people saying it's a gimmick, whatever. We need more women in these superhero movies. So I'm excited. I know nothing about any female Spider-Man, but I'll go and see it.
All right. Good question. Thank you.
All right, guys. Huge Schmoes fan. And over the last 2 weeks, there's been a huge controversy. Just want to get it cleared up. Does anyone except Mark Riley like chilies?
I love chilies.
Hashtag Chili's over.
No, let Riley read on that.
Mark was poisoned. I went to the emergency room. Okay? I will never go back to Chili's.
I've been trying to get us out of there.
Yeah, no,
I'm really getting sick.
No, I'm not a fan.
Secret 20.
I mean, the emergency room should tell you everything.
Let me tell you guys this, if any of you young entrepreneurs out there want to build an Olive Garden near the Schmoes No Network studios, we're going to be there.
I'm fine with the Olive Garden.
Thank you.
All right, next guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for being a fan.
Hi. So I had a question on the Phase 2 of Marvel films. What do you think of, it seems like for Phase 2, they're trying to go a little more darker, a little more serious. And I like the Marvel films, like I like, it's family friendly, but some of the previous times they tried to do that, like Thor the Dark World, where you have, his brother dying and then you have a joke about Natalie Portman's cell phone, like a second after. What do you think of, for Age of Ultron, they're kind of more serious and stuff?
I think that was more the trailer than anything else. I think that it is going to be an overall darker film. I think that's usually the case with sequels, but I think you're going to have some light humor in there, like the footage that they showed. They just released and they showed at Comic-Con initially, but I think it's going to be a darker movie. I think it's going to be sadder. I think we're going to see our superheroes get their asses kicked for a while, and we're going to have to accept that as a people.
I think Ant-Man's going to follow up with some humor as well, too.
Thank you. We're going to try to wrap up a couple questions. Nice Stormtrooper shirt.
What do you guys think of DC reportedly spending $2 billion on advertising? And do you think it's going to hurt them like it did like Spider-Man a bit, like overexposure?
Thank you, Tiff.
Good question.
$2 billion on advertising of what?
Their films.
I think that they definitely need to do it because I think they need to get people excited about it again. I really hope that what happens with Man of Steel doesn't happen again because I think that we saw too much of the good stuff. I think we saw all of the perfect moments from Man of Steel in the trailer, so then you go into the movie and you expect more of it, and we didn't necessarily get that much more of it. So I hope that they don't waste the money there. I hope that they do some more fun stuff like at the panels at Comic-Con, getting all the actors there. I hope that we see some more, fun and play with the films coming out.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna have to do this. This is the last question. I apologize.
We gotta get Nick Fury.
Okay, let's go. Let's wrap it up. Go for it.
All right. This is actually about. Have you guys ever thought about doing a producing show, like a show talking about like
We actually do have a show coming out on the network. Naveed McLarge is a guest on the show. He's going to have his own show starting in 2015, and it's the producer's couch, and it's just him telling stories about producing.
All right, Nick Fury, wrap us up. Take us home.
That'll be good.
Got my eye on you.
Anyway, how do you guys feel about the fact that we're getting 6 to 7 comic book movies a year? Do you think people are going to get sick of it? Also, how crazy would it have been if we got Civil War and Batman vs. Superman on the same day that would come out? Which movie was on first?
I'm glad it didn't happen though, because I think DC was smart to put it in March. They're going to own March. But if it would have happened on the same day, I think it would have hurt both costs. I mean, people have been running back and forth to movie theaters, I think, but it was before March said that people have to save up money to see stuff and be able to have to choose. March to July or whenever Captain America comes out, you have enough time to save up for it. So I think that it was a smart move. I'm glad it didn't happen, glad somebody moved, and I knew DC was going to be one of them.
Yeah, I love Marvel movies. I think the most exciting movie is Batman vs. Superman. It's not a Star Wars film, so that's the one that I spend my money on. But as we know, I get emotional when I think about lightsabers, so
Thank you, Nick Fury. I'm a fan of your Avenge team. It's a good thing. All right, that is our panel. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you guys.
And Mark and I and the rest of the crew are going to be downstairs. Find us afterwards. We're going to get a booth downstairs. Just come by and say hi, meet and greet, and that kind of thing.
Sound excited about it.
Meet and greet!
Thank you. We appreciate each and every one of you showing up today. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.